Chef Bates. I'm back here at Chapter 10. Cleaning is nice. We've been talking about cleaning. It's nice. But sanitizing is where the action is. Sanitizing is where we really ensure that our food is safe. Sanitizing reduces pathogens on a surface to safe levels. It's not enough to wash your plates and glasses in the sink like you do at home. You wash them in the sink, you rinse off the suds, and you kind of hope for the best, right? Food contact surfaces in a restaurant must be sanitized after they have been cleaned and rinsed. Everything that touches our guests' food has to be cleaned, rinsed, sanitized, and air dried. You can do this sanitizing a couple different ways. You can use chemicals or you can use heat. We're going to talk about both those. Ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Heat sanitizing. We're going to kill it with heat. One way to sanitize items is soak them in really, really hot water. For this method to work, the water has got to be at least 171 degrees Fahrenheit, and the item has to be soaked for at least 30 seconds. Another way to heat sanitize items is just to run them through a high-temperature dishwasher, where the final rinse is 180 degrees. That's nice. Chemicals are a lot more common. We use chemical sanitizers a lot in the kitchen. They're regulated by both state and federal environmental protection agencies. Those are the EPAs. I bet you didn't even know that states have their own EPA department. They do. Even Florida. Seriously. Florida has an EPA department. True story. Chemical sanitizers come in three forms. Chlorine is the first. Chlorine sanitizer is bleach, the same stuff you use to make your socks white again. It will kill almost every foodborne pathogen in the universe. It's got some problems, though. Mainly, it's a poison, and it's going to kill your Uncle Frank if he gets too much in his food. Move on. Iodine, which you may also be familiar with because it's used a lot in medical circumstances. It's used as a medical sanitizer. That stuff they rub on your skin right before they give you a shot? Very frequently is iodine. It's also used in some restaurants to sanitize equipment. It tends to stain everything pea yellow. So that's a problem. Moving on. Then there are quaternary ammonium compounds. Quaternary, let's try saying that. Quaternary. Quaternary ammonium compounds. They're almost always referred to as quats. Quats come in many forms. They may be solid for use in special dispensers like we have in our kitchen, like you see in the picture. They come as a powder. They come in these tiny little blue pills that dissolve called stearamine tablets. Recently, there's a new product that's available that we use in our teaching kitchen. It's a dish detergent sanitizer combo, and it cleans and sanitizes at the same time. If you're going to use this in a 3-compartment sink, you would fill up 2 sinks with the exact same stuff. You'd use one sink for the washing and the other sink for the sanitizing. Hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it. Now, when we're talking about chemical sanitizing, we're going to either soak them in a sanitizing solution, or we're going to rinse, we're going to swab, or we're going to spray them with that sanitizing solution. Like in the picture, you got a spray bottle full of sanitizer, and you're going to squirt it all over a table. In some cases, a detergent sanitizer blend can be used. Like I said, you're going to use it once to clean, and then you're going to use it a second time to sanitize. There's a bunch of factors that influence the effectiveness of a chemical sanitizer. The most critical include concentration, temperature, contact time, water hardness, and pH. Now, we're going to have to memorize these, so let's just start working on it now. There's 5 of them. Concentration, temperature, contact time, water hardness, and pH. Sanitizing solution is a mix of chemical sanitizer and water. The concentration of this mix, the amount of sanitizer to water, is critical. Too much water will make this solution weak and useless. It's not going to kill anything. Too much sanitizer may make the solution too strong and may be even unsafe. It can also leave a bad taste on items or corrode metal, which is bad. Concentration is measured in parts per million, ppm. To check the concentration of a sanitizer solution, you're going to be using a test kit. Make sure that you're using the right test kit for the sanitizer that you use. The kits are available from the chemical manufacturer who made the sanitizer. Hard water, food bits, leftover detergent, all these things can reduce the solution's effectiveness. So you're going to have to check your concentration pretty often. Change your sanitizing solution when it looks dirty, and if you check it and the concentration is too low, fix it. I don't know why are they telling us to do that? That seems so stupid. The water in a sanitizing solution must be the correct temperature. So you're going to have to follow manufacturer's recommendations. Sometimes the water has to be hot. Sometimes the water has to be cool. Most frequently, it's at slightly above room temperature, so about 75 degrees. When we're talking about contact time, we're referring to how long a piece of equipment must be submerged completely in the water for pathogens to be effectively reduced. In other words, the sanitizer must make contact with the item for a specific time, and that's going to be different for every different sanitizer in the world. That Bain Marie in the photo is being sanitized in an iodine sanitizing solution. For an iodine sanitizer to do its job, it's got to be in contact with the item it's sanitizing for at least 30 seconds. But you knew that. Or maybe you didn't. Now you do. Iodine, 30 seconds. Water hardness can affect how well a sanitizer works. Remember, water hardness is the amount of minerals in your water. Usually, the two minerals are calcium and magnesium. In addition to water hardness, water pH can also affect a sanitizer. So you're going to have to find out what the water hardness and pH of the water that you get is. Or you can have your water professionally tested. Then work with your supplier Then work with your supplier to determine the correct type and concentration of sanitizer to use with your water. It makes sense to me. I wanted to give you just an opportunity to look at some of these guidelines that let us know what to do with different types of sanitizers. We've got quats, and then we've got iodines and bleach. And they all have different requirements, parts per million changes, the temperature of the water, the length of time it needs to be in contact, the concentration level. All these things change depending on the type of sanitizer you're using. Well, it's just good to know. You don't really actually have to memorize it or anything. So we've got our sanitizer. We know what to do with it. Now we're going to actually get out there and start sanitizing some stuff, killing those buggies. Surfaces that don't touch food only need to be cleaned and rinsed to prevent the accumulation of dirt, right? Your floor doesn't need to be sanitized. However, any surface that touches food must be cleaned, rinsed, and sanitized. To clean and sanitize a surface, we got steps. You know how we love steps here at ServSafe. We got steps. There are 5 steps to cleaning and sanitizing a food contact surface. We're talking about like a table. We're talking about like a cutting board. We're talking about something that's big enough to where you can't go and put it in the dishwasher. This might seem basic, but follow along and ask yourself this question, okay? Do I really clean this way? Do I really do this? Here's a hint. I've been watching you guys. You don't. Nope. So first up, we're going to scrape or remove any food bits from the surface. You're going to use the correct cleaning tools, such as a nylon brush or pad or cloth towel. You do not clean a stainless steel table with a washcloth that's been soaking in sanitizer. First, you just get up the food. Then you're going to go get some detergent and you're going to wash the surface. That's step 2. Prepare the cleaning solution with an approved detergent. Then you're going to wash the surface with the correct cleaning tools, such as a cloth towel. Get the food off, then wash it. Then you're going to actually rinse the surface with clean water. Then you're going to sanitize the surface. Use the correct sanitizing solution. Prepare the concentration per manufacturer's requirements. Use the right tool like a cloth towel. Make sure the entire surface has come in contact with the sanitizing solution, and then very importantly, allow it to air dry. Don't grab a dry towel and wipe off the sanitizer. Why would you do that? You just put it on there. All the food contact surfaces in your kitchen have to be cleaned and sanitized at specific times. This is important since you can't tell by looking at a work table or cutting board whether it has any pathogens on it. We're so accustomed to being able to look at something and knowing it's dirty by look that we forget that you can't see bacteria or viruses. That table might look very clean, but it might be actually very, very dirty. So you're going to clean and sanitize all your equipment at these times, obviously after you're done using them. Before working with a different type of food, for example, if you change between prepping raw chicken and cutting some lettuce, you're definitely going to want to clean and sanitize. After handling different raw TCS fruits and vegetables, for example, if you've been cutting a bunch of melons and then you're switching to cutting a bunch of, say, onions, you're going to have to clean and sanitize. Anytime there is an interruption during a task and the items being used might have been contaminated. So if you have to walk away from cutting all those melons, for example, and you take a phone call and you're away for 20 minutes or so and you come back, don't just go back to work. Clean and sanitize the surface. And after 4 hours of continuous use of any piece of equipment in your whole kitchen. Equipment manufacturers will usually provide instructions for cleaning and sanitizing stationary equipment like slicers or those giant oversized stand mixers or steamers. In general, you've got a couple steps to follow. Unplug the equipment, please. Before you get started, unplug the equipment. Take every removable part off. wash, rinse, and sanitize all those removable parts by hand. If it's allowable, you could run them through the dishwasher, but generally speaking, you're going to want to wash them by hand. Then you're going to scrape or remove food from the actual equipment surface itself. Hey, how about we wash stuff? Let's use a cleaning solution prepared with an approved cleanser, and we're going to wash the outside of that equipment all over. Use the right tool, right? A nylon brush or pad. Then rinse the entire surface with clean water. If it's an electrical piece of equipment, be cautious with this step. Just be cautious. Not all electric equipment can be like doused in water. Sanitize the surface like you see in the picture. Make sure the sanitizer comes in contact with all of the surfaces. Check the concentration of that sanitizer, right? We're not just going to start randomly dumping sanitizer. We're going to check the concentration and make sure it's right. Allow all the surfaces to air dry. The parts that you took apart and washed separately, the machine itself, and when everything is dry, put it back together. I mean, you could have figured that out. I can't believe that I explained something that dumb. You could have figured all of that out. Some pieces of equipment, like soft serve yogurt machines and cappuccino machines, are designed to have cleaning and sanitizing solutions pumped through them. These types of tools are called clean-in-place equipment because you clean them in place. Because they hold TCS food, they must be cleaned and sanitized every time they're used, unless otherwise indicated by the manufacturer. I have never seen any manufacturer say, wash and sanitize every other day. It's every day. All right, well, that was it for the part 2. We did the whole sanitizing section already. You guys are amazing. Next up, the dishes.